In the dead of winter in 1959, 9 young hikers set out on an adventure they believed would test their endurance and skill. Led by Igor Dyatlov, the group of experienced mountaineers, all students or graduates of the Ural Polytechnic Institute, ventured deep into the snow-covered Ural Mountains. They were prepared for hardship. They expected grueling cold, blizzards, and the challenges of navigating a remote wilderness. But what found them, was something no one has been able to fully explain. Picture this: their tent torn open from the inside, abandoned in the middle of the frozen mountainside. Footprints leading away into the darkness, scattered and chaotic, some without shoes, others without adequate clothing for the sub-zero temperatures. Days later, their bodies were found. Some had died from hypothermia, others from horrific injuries. And then there was the radiation. Unexplained, unsettling, and seeping into this chilling tale. What could have driven these 9 seasoned hikers into such madness and terror? Was it nature, a government experiment gone wrong, or something far more sinister? Today, we'll unravel this enigma piece by piece. But beware, each answer only deepens the mystery. The Dyatlov group consisted of 8 men and 2 women, all in their early 20s except for one, a 38-year-old war veteran named Alexander Zolotaryov. Each was skilled, experienced, and certified as Grade 2 hikers, and upon completing their journey to Ural Mountain, they would achieve the prestigious Grade 3 certification, the highest in the Soviet Union. On January 25, 1959, they arrived in Ivdel by train and set out for Vishay, the last inhabited settlement before the wilderness swallowed them whole. Spirits were high. Photos recovered from the group's cameras depict their laughter and camaraderie. But by February 1st, everything changed. Heavy snowstorms, freezing winds, and a wrong turn led them to camp on the slopes of Kolatsyakal, a name that eerily translates from the Mansi language as Dead Mountain. That would be their final camp. By February 12th, the group was overdue. Relatives raised the alarm, and soon the Soviet government dispatched search parties. On February 26th, rescuers discovered the Dyatlov tent. It was a surreal sight, half buried in snow and eerily silent. The tent had been slashed open from the inside. All of their equipment and warm clothing had been left behind, as if they fled suddenly in terror. What were they running from? Following footprints in the snow, searchers found the first 2 bodies near a tree line 500 meters away. Yuri Doroshenko and Yuri Krivonishenko were barefoot and dressed in only their undergarments. Their hands were severely burned, suggesting they had desperately tried to light a fire. The branches of the nearby cedar tree were broken as if they had frantically climbed to seek refuge, or to escape something. Not far from there, 3 more bodies were found: Dyatlov himself, Zinaida Kolmogorova, and Rustam Slobodin. They were positioned as if trying to return to the tent. Slobodin had a fractured skull, and yet, like the others, he succumbed to hypothermia. It would take 2 more months to locate the remaining 4 bodies, hidden beneath 4 meters of snow in a ravine. They had suffered massive internal injuries, crushed ribs, skull fractures, without any external trauma. Ludmila Dubinina was found missing her tongue and eyes. The inconsistencies were staggering, baffling even seasoned investigators. The autopsies revealed no signs of an external struggle. Most died of hypothermia, but the crushing injuries were likened to a force beyond what a human could inflict. Some of their clothing was found to be highly radioactive. Officially, the cause of death was attributed to an unknown compelling force. But what could that force have been? In 2019, Russian authorities reopened the case, concluding that a slab avalanche was to blame. The theory suggested that the hiker's tent, cut into the slope, destabilized a thin layer of snow. Hours later, it collapsed under heavy wind, forcing the hikers to flee. Injuries sustained by some victims were consistent with the weight of snow pressing down on them, yet skeptics abound. If a slab avalanche had occurred, why were the bodies found on the surface, rather than buried? Why did the tent remain mostly upright, and why were the injuries inconsistent with typical avalanche deaths? And then, there was the delay, 9 hours after setting up camp before any incident occurred. Fascinatingly, a recent simulation by Swiss researchers using technology inspired by Disney's Frozen lent support to the slab avalanche idea. It demonstrated how dense, cohesive snow slabs could cause severe injuries, even without burying the victims completely. But this still leaves many questions unanswered. Were these injuries really from snow or something else entirely? Among the more sensational theories is one involving UFOs. On the night of February 1st, other hikers reported strange orange orbs in the sky above the Ural Mountains. Could these have been extraterrestrial craft? Some believe radiation levels found on the hikers' clothes support this idea. The final photo from one of the hikers' cameras, a blurry, mysterious light, fuels these claims. Was it merely a celestial phenomenon, or something more sinister? Skeptics attribute the radiation to thorium lanterns or residual contamination from military activities, but for those who seek the extraordinary, the mystery only deepens. Perhaps the most plausible of the unconventional theories involves Soviet military testing. The Ural Mountains were known for secret operations, missile tests, chemical weapons trials, you name it. Some speculate that parachute mines, which detonate above ground, might explain the hikers' internal injuries and the shockwave-like force detected. Rescuers reported that the area was cordoned off by military personnel long before their arrival. Documents disappeared, leading many to whisper of a cover-up. Why would authorities hide evidence if this was simply a tragic accident? The military angle also sheds light on the radiation mystery. Perhaps exposure came from nearby weapons testing. Even the hikers' frantic escape from their tent could be explained by a sudden blinding light or deafening sound. Other theories are rooted in human psychology and natural forces. The infrasound hypothesis posits that wind passing over the mountain created a low-frequency vibration, triggering panic and disorientation among the hikers. Alternatively, some suggest a combination of paradoxical undressing, a symptom of severe hypothermia, and disorientation led them to their doom. While these theories provide plausible explanations for some behaviors, they fail to account for every detail, such as the traumatic injuries and missing body parts. Over the years, interest in the Dyatlov Pass incident has only grown, spurring numerous documentaries and books that probe its lingering mysteries. One of the most recent investigations, documented in An Unknown Compelling Force 2021, delves into interviews with surviving family members and re-examines forensic evidence using modern technology. Intriguingly, researchers pointed out inconsistencies in Soviet autopsy reports, suggesting potential tampering. Was this an attempt to hide the truth, or was it a reflection of the chaotic bureaucratic practices of the time? Other documentaries have focused on local legends and the testimony of indigenous Mansi elders. The Mansi believe the area is cursed, home to spirits that guard sacred ground. This theory gains traction when we consider the group's location on Kholat Syakhl, translated as Dead Mountain. It begs the question, did the hikers inadvertently trespass on forbidden ground, invoking an ancient wrath? To understand the enigma of Dyatlov Pass, we must delve into the context of 1959 Soviet Russia. This was an era marked by secrecy and Cold War paranoia. Many believe this atmosphere of mistrust and clandestine military activity may hold the key to the hikers' fate. Historical records indicate that the Ural Mountains were a testing ground for cutting-edge weapons, including rockets and chemical agents. This raises the tantalizing possibility that the hikers stumbled into a classified military test. Furthermore, archaeology in the region has uncovered evidence of ancient rituals and burial sites tied to the Mansi people. Some researchers propose that energy fields or magnetic anomalies, believed by some to influence human behavior, may have played a role in the hikers' disorientation. While these theories stretch the limits of plausibility, they underscore just how deeply rooted this mystery is in both historical and cultural context. Imagine for a moment that Dyatlov Pass wasn't merely the site of a tragic accident, but a glimpse into something beyond our comprehension. What if the radiation found on the hikers' clothing was linked to an experimental form of energy, now lost to time? Science fiction enthusiasts have speculated about hidden technologies buried within the Ural Mountains, perhaps remnants of an ancient civilization or extraterrestrial visitors. Could Dyatlov Pass serve as a cautionary tale for future cities, warning of the dangers of harnessing untested power? Or might it inspire new technologies, mirroring the fictional cities of Blade Runner or The Expanse, places where the line between nature and technology blurs? As outlandish as it may seem, the mystery invites such speculation, fueling creative possibilities about what lies ahead for humanity. Interestingly, myths and legends similar to the Dyatlov Pass incident exist around the world. In Japan, the Yuki Onna is a spectral figure, said to lead travelers astray in blizzards, resulting in their mysterious deaths. In the Alps, there are tales of the Schneemann, a monstrous snow creature known to prey on hikers. The connections raise a provocative question. Are these recurring motifs in global folklore a reflection of shared human fears, or do they hint at a more universal force lurking within the world's wildernesses? The Mansi themselves have long spoken of Kholat Syakhl as a place of death, haunted by spirits. While skeptics dismiss this as superstition, believers point to the strange circumstances of the hikers' deaths as validation of these warnings. Perhaps Dyatlov Pass isn't unique, but part of a broader tapestry of mysteries tied to sacred lands and supernatural forces. The Dyatlov Pass incident has permeated popular culture in ways that even the hikers themselves could never have imagined. It has inspired books like Dead Mountain, The Untold True Story of the Dyatlov Pass Incident, and countless documentaries. It has also made its way into video games such as Kholat, where players must survive a fictionalized retelling of the event while uncovering clues to what really happened. More broadly, the event taps into our collective fascination with the unexplained. It's no wonder that TV shows like The X-Files and movies like The Ritual echo themes of isolation, dread, and hidden truths. This cultural resonance keeps the story alive for new generations, feeding into an endless cycle of curiosity and speculation. Throughout this journey into the unknown, your thoughts matter. If you've been captivated by any theory or have one of your own, drop it in the comments. Have you heard about any of the recent findings from documentaries? We'd love to hear your take. And if this mystery has given you chills or sparked your imagination, consider sharing this video with friends to see their reactions. Let's keep the conversation going and unravel this together. No doubt, questions are swirling in your mind. Why did the military show such interest in a simple hiking tragedy? How could such bizarre injuries occur without external wounds? And what about the missing tongue and eyes? Skeptics argue these injuries were caused by scavenging animals post-mortem, while others see evidence of something far more disturbing. We've touched on many theories, but in truth, no explanation fully answers every question. That's what makes Dyatlov Pass both maddening and fascinating. It's a puzzle with pieces that don't quite fit, a reminder that, despite our best efforts, some mysteries remain out of reach. If this has left you with more questions than answers, you're not alone. The Dyatlov Pass incident is a haunting tale that will continue to puzzle and inspire us. As we close this exploration, we invite you to keep questioning, keep seeking, and keep the mystery alive. If you've enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Your engagement helps us uncover more stories from the shadows of history and beyond. What do you think really happened at Dyatlov Pass? Leave a comment below and let's keep exploring the unknown together.